Welcome, everyone, to this fifth video on this 84-part series. In this video, as you can clearly see, I have just shaved my head. And that is what I'm going to be talking about. What it's like to have no hair. Actually, the topic of this discussion is going to be about hair. You see, sometime around 200 years ago, at the start of the Industrial Revolution, it became popular to cut your facial hair off for men. And it was generally always, I shouldn't say always, in some of the more intuitive cultures, having long hair was seen as something that is positive for men and for women. But as societies became more advanced, the need for hair, there wasn't necessity for growing hair because you weren't in the jungle, you weren't hunting, you were surrounded by buildings and machines. So it became a kind of efficiency for mostly men to shave their heads. And it is very efficient. You don't need shampoo. You don't have to worry about your hair getting tangled up in things. People don't have to mistake you for a woman. So in some ways, it's good. It's very good. On the other hand, nature gives you hair for a reason. It didn't come by accident that you have facial hair and hair in your head. And there's no instructional manual given by nature that says, okay, every single month you have to get a trim or a haircut. Otherwise, nature won't function properly. It's actually the contrary. You see, you have these beliefs that, okay, life is this way, life is a certain way, and you're basically going along with what everyone else is doing. And you're cutting your hair, you're cutting your beard, and you don't really know why. And you don't know why. So hair, nature has given you hair for a reason. Now, what reason is that? First of all, having longer hair makes you more intuitive. Women are generally much more advanced when it comes to the intuitive experience, not only because of their long hair, but for other reasons. But one factor of it is because that they're not forced to cut their hair. There's no stigma that, okay, if you have long hair, then, what kind of boy has long hair? Hairs are like extensions of your nervous system. That's what it is. And hair allows you to perceive electrical signals given off by the environment. The longer your hair, the more perceptive you become. In the ancient cultures and in the warrior castes of certain societies, the warriors always had long hair. They never cut their hair off because they understood this fact that the longer that your hair is, the more perceptive and the more aware you are of your surroundings. Well, that's head hair, and that's exactly the same with the beard, with facial hair. But women can't grow facial hair, whereas men can. I have seen certain things when it comes to having a beard, because I haven't always grown a beard. I was following along and doing what everyone else is doing and shaving every week, thinking that it was the appropriate thing to do. And then once the pandemic happened and I started becoming more aware of reality and I started watching more Sadhguru videos, I started to become aware of this fact that this actually kind of an insane thing to do is to cut yourself every day, to put a razor to your neck and shave. It's like, why am I doing this? Is it so that I can buy these razors and pay these multi-billion-dollar razor blade companies? Maybe. one of the most fascinating things that I've seen when it comes to the man's facial hair is that it protects your neck. Visibly, it protects your neck, not that a sword is going to stop, your beard isn't going to stop a sword. But visibly, it does conceal your neck, which is its primary purpose. That a man with a longer beard has a significant advantage when fighting because of its concealment. Also, there's an intimidation factor and a dominance factor, that the larger your beard, the more space you take up. And also there's many scientific things I'm not going to get into, like, the display of testosterone and pheromones and whatever else. So I'm going to challenge you to experiment with this for yourself and to really investigate as to why you are shaving, if you are, and why you are cutting your hair, if you are. And you will see that the longer that your hair grows, the more intuitive you become. Now, why did I shave my head? I haven't cut my hair in about 2.5 to 3 years, somewhere along those lines. Definitely since the pandemic started, I decided, okay, there's no more. I'm not cutting my hair. And I cut my hair for a specific purpose. It wasn't just accidental. I didn't wake up in the morning and say, hey, I'm gonna change my look. It wasn't because of looks. It was because I changed my living circumstances quite drastically. I'm currently living in Sydney, Australia, and I plan on living here for a significant amount of time, or at least much longer than I currently have been living here now. And I came from Toronto, Canada, and my living circumstances in Toronto, Canada were drastically different from the living circumstances here and now. So all of the memory that I have experienced and all of the information that I've gathered was stored in my hair. Just the previous video you can see. So hair is information. Hair is data. And all of the beliefs that currently here and now where I am in Australia, they don't serve me. They don't help me. They would be detrimental to me moving forward. That had to be let go of. So 2 nights ago, I had a very sudden flash of realization that I should cut my hair because for this fact. And so yesterday I went out to the store, I bought a razor, and this morning I cut my hair. And when my hair was on the floor, I saw this fact, that it's stored information. And all of the energy that I've put into myself and all of the people that I have been around, that genetic information was stored in my hair. And for easy access. But again, as it was no longer necessary, I shed that weight and I totally chopped my locks off. So how do I feel now, having no head hair? Like I said, the beliefs that I have stored or held onto or have gathered no longer are a part of me, at least when it comes to that hair. And here I'm planning to do certain things which, when I was in Canada, I would never have thought that I was going to do. And so that in itself would be a contradiction, because the beliefs and the way that I was stored in my hair, and me pursuing something new would be detrimental. It would there would be conflict. That's no longer the case, because I have made a clean slate. Also, this was an appropriately timed thing for me to do. I want to emphasize that this is not something that I just woke up and, I had an itch. Okay, I need to change my hairstyle or whatever people think. If I were to prematurely cut my hair, there would be severe consequences. It's not normal or natural for you to cut your hair. If you do cut your hair prematurely, you're severely destabilizing your body. It is like roots to your nervous system. And if you just chop it off abruptly, you could go into a wild spiral, into mental insanity, even. At the very mildest level, you will experience destabilization of your body. Your thinking patterns will be off. You'll be kind of a little bit crazy and maybe even manic. Different symptoms along those lines. So, yeah, I didn't just do this abruptly. It was the right time. The cycle had fully completed itself or ended, and it was beneficial for me to cut my hair. It would not be beneficial for me to keep holding on to my hair. When it comes to facial hair, it's completely different. There's no need for me to cut my facial hair off. There's no such intention when it comes to facial hair. And it's unlikely that I will shave my beard again. Maybe for a few years at least. Yeah, for sure for a few years. So that's it. That's all that I have to share with you. So consider why you are cutting your hair if you are, and stop. Because the longer your hair, the more your hair you have, the more stable and grounded and rooted you are in your body, and the more perception you will develop, and the higher spiritually you will grow. So stop cutting your hair.